Hi everyone, my name is Molly Hicks and my pronouns are she, her, and I live on Lenape land outside of Philadelphia. Or actually, I live in Philadelphia now, but I worship outside of Philadelphia in the suburbs there. I do encourage you to put in the chat where you're from, as I know that we have people from all over the country and the world now part of our alignment community. I also would encourage you, if you are off of mute, if you don't mind going on mute, because when I play music, sometimes there's an echo that comes from folks' computer speakers. You are welcome to share in the chat, encouraged to share in the chat, in fact, throughout the session, with any responses that you have to the songs. The title of our time together tonight is Songs That Sustain. And I came up with this title because I wanted to do some kind of end of year and beginning of year reflection on songs that help me through difficult times. And when Margaret and I talked about the topic of the session, I wasn't really sure how I was going to approach this. But what I ended up doing was actually selecting original songs that have sustained me as I have written them. So I could have gone a different direction and played songs by other artists that have helped to sustain me. I will start out with one verse of a hymn, so that's going to be the only exception of a song that isn't original, but it's one of my early sustaining songs. So my encouragement to you is to perhaps put some songs, names of songs in the chat that have sustained you. You don't have to do that yet. I'll kind of pause at one point midway through and encourage you to do so. But any responses that you'd like to share in the chat throughout as you're hearing the songs I'm sharing, feel free to do that. And I really appreciate you being here once again. So my background, as many of you know, is in music therapy. And so when I write my own music, I often write about my own experiences. Sometimes my music comes from my experience as a therapist. It often also comes from my experiences as a spiritual person, navigating the world, being in Quaker community at my house of worship, being in interfaith spaces, some of the challenges that we all face as we're part of communities and families, which are their own communities. So I'll be sharing some personal stories as part of this time together, nothing in great detail. And I should say, when songs kind of incorporate material from my work as a therapist, it's never specific material. It's always more general and kind of reflecting on some of the themes that we all face as human beings. So I hope you will hear all the different influences in the music I'm going to share with you. And even though most of this music is not explicitly religious, it's very spiritually based. Everything that I write is spiritually based, including those things that are about personal, emotional interactions with others. Because there's always a spiritual element of meaning making as I'm trying to understand my life and as well as my work. So I'm going to begin with just the first verse of a hymn that has always been sustaining to me. I remember hearing this, learning it at church when I was growing up. I was raised in a congregational church in the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and this was definitely my favorite hymn as a child, and continues to be one of my favorites now. So I'll share the first verse of it. It's called "Great Is Thy Faithfulness."
There is no shadow of turning.
as thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. So throughout my life up till this point, when I've gone through difficult times, I've done my best to carry that faithfulness with me, to remind myself of that faithfulness. That has been one of the things that has helped to sustain me and keep me going. I'm going to share a song next that I wrote in 2014. The title of this song is I Wouldn't Have This. So you'll hear the refrain. It's a fast song. It's kind of a country song. The refrain is, if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have this. And then the next one says, if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't have this. And the idea is there are so many difficult things that we go through in life. There are many challenges that we face. There are heartaches that we go through. And sometimes the things we go through that are difficult are also not the end of the world. You'll hear in the song that has a few different characters. One person is figuring out that she doesn't know everything in the world. One person's figuring out that, just because they had a heartbreak with a relationship, that they will get through that. And the last verse, kind of typical country song style, is about someone's pet dog and and the dog wanting to roam wild and free, but he has to be on a leash, or he has to be on a run in his yard. And so I think you'll hear the theme of we go through difficult times and then we come out on the other side. So it's sometimes the challenges that teach us the lessons that we need to know. And since I wrote this song 11 years ago, I've gone through a lot more challenges. So it's wonderful how when you write songs, they become deeper and more meaningful the longer they've been around.
There once was a girl who ruled the world, had it all in the palm of her hand, but all those smarts got in the way of her heart, and she didn't understand. Until one day a friend turned away, saying she was just out of touch. She finally woke up, refilled her cup of love. Brains don't matter that much. And she thought, if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have this. I'd like to take this heartache and cross it off my list. But walking down another road, think of all the good that I would miss. If I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have looking mighty blue in a boxu, asking what exactly was wrong. Bless the stars above, they fell in love, started singing their own sweet song. And he thought, if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't have this. I'd like to take this heartache and cross it off my list, but walking down another road, think of all the good that I would miss. If I didn't have that, then I wouldn't have this. There once was a dog living high on a hog in the woods, roaming wild and free, but his owner was dense, so he jumped the fence to see what he could see. Until one night he got quite a fright when a bear came across his path. Oh, what he'd give to go home and live behind closed doors. He'd even take a bath. And he thought, if I just did that, then I wouldn't have this. I'd like to take this heartache and cross it off my list. Walking down this road, think of all the good that I have missed. If I just did that, then I wouldn't have this. Oh, if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have this. I'd like to take this heartache and cross it off my list, but walking down another road, think of all the good that I would miss. If I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have this. If I didn't do that, then I wouldn't have this.
So as it turns out, this song, which talks about, in kind of a humorous way, these different life events that teach us lessons, and these life events that lead to wonderful things, even if things are very difficult and become quite a struggle. I would really need this song. This song would help sustain me. I wrote this in 2014. In 2015, I separated from my then husband, and it was an extraordinarily challenging time. And I do look back on this song realizing that it kind of helped predict the fact that I would get through that time, that I would get through a terrible period, and that the decisions that I had made and what had led me there would be part of my story. Although it took quite some time to realize that and to accept that, to get through that grief. So this is another song that actually connects with that time, that particular time in my life. And this was one that I wrote around that time. And this was a reflection on my own relationship, but it was also a reflection on other relationships that I had heard about, that I was acquainted with, friends and family who had gone through very painful times with a partner or a spouse. And it's called Losing Game. And so even though this is a much more reflective, much sadder song, it helped sustain me because I realized that I didn't want to be playing that losing game anymore, and that wasn't going to work for me. And so I hope that it offers something to you. After this song, I'm going to encourage folks to share in the chat some of the songs that have sustained you, if you would like to.
May Maybe this time will be different. Maybe things will turn out right. When my head falls to the pillow, I'll sleep peacefully tonight. Wake up call, watch it all slip away. Takes all I have not to break down and say, oh baby, it seems like we're caught in a losing game. Heaven knows that I'd like to win. I don't know where to begin. Baby, you know it takes two to play at a losing game, but only one to say, I'm all done with the pain. Plans I had for the future quickly crumbling like dry clay. Looking up to the horizon, every color just looks gray. Can't you see what's written across my face? Once filled with love, now there's only empty space. Oh baby, seems like we're caught in a losing game. Heaven knows that I'd like to win, but I don't know where to begin. Baby, you know it takes two to play at a losing game, but only one to say, I'm all done with the pain, but only one to say, I'm all done with the pain.
Even now, as I share that song with all of you, I'm kind of simultaneously transported to the time when I wrote that song, which was a really formative time in my life, making choices that were different than I had made up till that point. And I remember writing this song, actually, and feeling very pleased with the way the melody came out, and that kind of order of the melody and the inspiration of the song being what sustained me. And I know we have other musicians here in the room and other artists of different kinds, writers, and there is something very profound about even a sad story, even a painful story and experience being expressed in a way that feels meaningful and that one knows can change the story, can bring the story to a different point, can evolve, can help one grow. And I really felt that way about this particular song. Everything fit together very well in a way that other things in my life at the time were not fitting. And that really made a difference for me. So thank you so much for listening thus far. I'm going to share two more songs today, but if you would like to share in the chat perhaps the title of a song that has been meaningful to you over your life. Maybe it's one that you've known for years and years. Maybe it's one that you just were introduced to recently. Maybe it's one that you've written. I won't share anybody's name. I'll just say the names of the songs out loud. And as Margaret shared before, nothing in the chat is going to be shared in terms of associating anyone's name with anything they write. Nothing can be visible in the recording. You'll Never Walk Alone, Deep Peace of the Running Wave, Deep Peace by Sarah Thompson, There's a Healing in This Night, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Imagine, a song that reminds me of my ancestors is Mother Scotland from the Broadway show Lady M. You Are Not Alone. Bonnie Raitt, Bonnie's storytelling and smooth voice consoles me in grief. Best of Me, after a very difficult time, that I gave the best of me to a relationship. We Are the World, Clarksville Elementary. In the Presence of the Lord by Eric Clapton. Thank you all so much. So I'm going to share a song called Frightened Young Person. This is another original. And I wrote this actually for my sister. I wrote this in early 2021. Of course, we were still in the pandemic. My sister had just become a mom for the first time and was also, and still does, work as a medical director. She was at the beginning of a new job, and there was so much going on. And so the first verse is about her experience of parenthood through my eyes, through our conversations. The second verse is about her experience of being a leader at work. And again, even though this was for her and about her, it has really universal themes, and it spoke to me about the times when I just feel like a frightened young person, a frightened child inside. I think we all have times like that. I don't think it'd be presumptuous to say that. We all have a child part of us that wants to know what's going on, wants to know how to get through life, what to do, wants to have some guidance. Many of us find that in our faith traditions. So I think the song says basically we have a lot of these adult concerns. We have a lot of concerns in our lives that bring us to the present moment, but could we show more compassion for ourselves if we think of ourselves as those children that just need guidance? We don't know everything, and there's not an expectation that we should know everything.
The expectations of how this should be fade into vapor as you bounce him gently on your knee. The trite little saying that mother knows best brings tears of confusion as you clutch his body close to your chest. It wasn't long ago that you were in his place, a brand new earthly soul, a sweet person inside. Seems like everybody is looking at you for some direction in this latest crisis. What should we do? Your thoughts are all racing. Can they see you sweat? Oh, how can you tell them you don't have an answer for anything yet? It wasn't long ago that you were in their shoes, looking to your leaders for the path to choose. Have some humility. Open your eyes and see that frightened young person is me. We've all been wounded. Have we chosen to give our scars some care? How can I offer a healing balm for yours if I don't even know that mine are there? I've got a lot of pride, but I don't have to hide that frightened young person inside.
I hope you all can embrace that young person that needs your care that's inside of you. I know that we're close to the end of our time. I hope you can stay just a few minutes more as I end with a final song. If you have to leave, I understand, of course. I want to end with one called This Is Your Life. And this is one I wrote in 2022, which some of you have heard before. And it's just reflecting on the fact, it's kind of similar to the first song, If I Didn't Have This, that this is what has occurred in my life to this point. And it's been meaningful, and it hasn't been what I planned, but I'm going to take it and continue on. The chorus says, will you pile up every barrier or take life by the hand? So we'll end with this, and thank you all so very much.
Did I choose this life, or did it choose me? Have I turned out to be the person I was meant to be? Is there even something meant to be at all? Deafened by the shout of expectations, I missed the whisper of a call, saying this is your life. It's not what you planned. Will you pile up every barrier or take it by the hand? You are here now. This is your song. The harmony and the dissonance. There's no right or wrong. Can I let my light commune with your light? Will I turn it all over to what my soul knows is right? Is there room to still be with you when I'm scared? I believe in our connection and the depth of what we shared, saying this is your life. It's not what you planned. Will you pile up every barrier or take it by the hand? You are here now. This is your song. The harmony and the dissonance. There's no right or wrong. Sometimes I can't put words to it. Try to add it up, but can't do the math. You could have never told me that this would fit, but it's my path. It's my path. This is my life. It's not what I planned. So I'll kick over every barrier and take life by the hand. I am here now. This is my song, with all the harmony and the dissonance. There's no right or wrong. Oh, all the harmony and the dissonance. There's no right or wrong. No right or wrong.
Thank you very much, everyone. This has been such a meaningful time with all of you. I wish you peace and moments of joy this coming week.